Hi, I'm Paul Wood, CEO of BTU Metals Corp. We trade under the symbol BTU on the Toronto Stock Exchange Venture. We're one of the largest landholders in the heart of the fabled Red Lake mining camp in Northwest Ontario, where millions of gold ounces have been produced over the years and continue to be produced. Red Lake has experienced a bit of a renaissance of late over the last couple of years, in no small part due to the tremendous success of Great Bear Resources, with whom we share a very long border and almost largely surround. I'd point out that Great Bear stock has gone up 20-fold, over 20-fold, and is trading at about a $500 million market cap at the moment. And we're sitting at, as BTU, trading at about 5% of that. Meanwhile, we can see their drills turning from our property from time to time. We believe we have one of the most exciting resource exploration companies in the country. We've had a lot of great results this year, and we thought we'd share with investors some additional insights into our two main projects. First, the high-grade gold at Dixie Creek and the structure leading into it. We're waiting assays on that. Second is the VMS type copper, silver, gold to the southeast of our properties, which we call the TNT target. With that, I'll introduce you to Bruce Durham, our VP Exploration, who will be followed by Alan King, our geophysicist. Over to you, Bruce.
Thanks for the introduction, Paul. The slide that's in front of you now is actually a picture of some diamond drill core from our discovery from last fall. It's actually a base metal discovery that's got some copper, some silver, and some gold in it. That's an area of the property that had been previously unexplored, other than when a company by the name of Teck Resources worked in there trying to find the source of some mineralized boulders that they had found on surface back in the 1990s. It wasn't our primary focus at the time. And the slide that you have in front of you now actually shows the regional geology, some interpretation of the regional geology and based on a magnetic pattern underneath. So you can see that we have mapped out some large structures. We've got some till samples. And it was one of the things that caught my eye when I first looked at this project was the government had done some till sampling more than a decade ago, and no one had really followed up on it. So we've done some follow-up till sampling. It's kind of our third target. When Paul talks about two targets, we've got the northeast corner of the property where you'll see kind of a block in the, it's a little bit hard to see maybe on that map, but there is an area in the northeast corner of our property close to Great Bear where we have some SGH targets and we've got some good geology that we want to test. The area down to the bottom right-hand side that's outlined in green is where that diamond drill core came from. And we know that the golden till samples is part of a project that we're going to have to do a lot more work on this upcoming year. And then if you go to the next slide is actually an overlay of the geology map. This map has changed significantly in the last 6 months or so. Great Bear are doing a lot of work to the north of us, and our geological interpretation has been refined significantly as well. So the main area in the center of the property, you can probably see an orange outline. That's where those till samples came from. The area up in the northeast corner that's got a circle around it is an area that we've recently done some diamond drilling, and we're waiting for the results of that work. And then down to the kind of bottom right-hand side again, we've got an orange ellipse around an area called the TNT target. So that's sitting in different geological terrain, and we know that we've found some copper, silver, and gold, and we know that because this is all overburden covered and there's very little known about the geology of the area, we have to use more and more sophisticated techniques to really find the best parts of these areas of mineralization. So we go to the next slide. How we found this initially was by following up on work that Teck had done when they were in there looking for the source of these high-grade boulders. And so by working up ice and using more sophisticated techniques, we were able to find some mineralization. And now we're in there doing even more sophisticated geophysics that will actually get us to hone in on the best parts of this large mineralized system that probably goes for 3 kilometers. So the next person who's going to fill you in a little bit is Alan King. Alan works as our consulting geophysicist. He's got a long history in the industry, and he'll show you some diagrams showing what the next targets are going to be like.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bruce. Yeah, my name's Alan King, and I'm a consulting geophysicist, and I started working on the BTU property a couple of years ago, and I was brought in to look at some of the geophysics that have been acquired on the property, and in particular, there was an airborne EM mag survey that had been flown over the central part of the property, really to tie on to the southern part of the Great Bear surveys and the Great Bear property, which is just up here to the north. And as part of that work, directed mainly at gold exploration, there were a number of targets drilled in the area, and in particular, there was some IP lines run in the northeast corner, right here. And we captured those images and brought them into this 3D model. And there was some drilling done up in this area here, but in particular, the one that sort of is that led into the news story is this: there were some reconnaissance IP lines run across the eastern edge of the property. There was a detailed airborne survey flown over that area to try and extend the airborne EM and mag coverage. And at the same time, we located this somewhat larger survey over here that was flown by the government a long time ago. And that's an airborne EM and mag survey that covers this area. There's some airborne EM anomalies picked in that survey as well. So between those two surveys, we see this pattern of increasing conductivity, which extend from those first holes up at the north end. Airborne EM anomalies, these spherical objects right here. And for all this work for the EM, the blue colors are lower conductivity, and the WARB or red colors are higher conductivity. We can see this long anomalous area here. It's clear in the profile data, but the anomalies, these anomaly bullseyes here highlighted pretty well. You can see the initial intersection was into an area of broad weak conductivity up here to the north, but we could see right away that the conductivity was improving to the south. So the drilling extended to the south, and in conjunction with that drilling, we did surface and borehole EM work with the Crone time domain EM system. So I'll just turn off that airborne survey. We'll just leave the airborne EM anomalies on there. I'll take off the old IP anomalies. And at the same time, the more detailed IP survey run in this area. And you can see that we can see the disseminated and stringer mineralization up here at the north. And we can see that extending down to the south and open to the south as well. But it was clear by this time that we were dealing not with a disseminated stringer type mineralization, but where our target here was massive and semi-massive sulfides as part of a VMS system. So around this time, we switched from IP resistivity to ground and borehole EM systems. So I'll just turn off that IP data, and I'll turn on the some of the interpretation from the EM survey work. Yeah, so this is the TNT area. These are the large loops we put out for the Crone time domain EM survey surface work. Also, there was borehole EM done in every drill hole as the work progressed. And I think every hole that was drilled from east to west here intersected the zone, showed the large alteration system, and we're picking up base metal values and stringer base metals. And in every hole, we could see that we were in the middle of a large, weak to moderately conductive system, but we also could see that the system extended to depth and got better, and extended and got better to the south. And you can see that in the airborne EM colored dots, that we started in this weakly conductive zone up to the north, and we could see from the airborne EM that the system was going to get better to the south. And eventually we had these red bullseyes down the south, which tell you that the best conductivity is in that direction. The interpretation of the borehole EM, these are conductive plates that we use to model the EM responses we get in the borehole EM. And in every case around the hole in the alteration system, we can see an extensive weak to moderately conductive zone. In almost all cases, it seems to get better at depth, and it's open at depth. And then finally, as we get down to the south, right under the more conductive airborne EM anomalies, we see this larger conductive system at depth, and this is the best conductivity we've seen so far in the system. And the range of conductivity we were seeing in the shallow drilling was maybe 5 to 10 Siemens, a measure of quality that we use to identify the quality of a EM conductor. and they're around 5 to 10 Siemens up in this area, and we can see things getting a little bit better down up at depth. And then when we get down to the south, these big conductive plates here, and they're about 800 meters by 800 meters that we see deep in the southern part of the system, around 100 Siemens, which are pretty good. That a typical VMS system might be as low as 25 Siemens, maybe up to a couple hundred Siemens. So this has the conductivity, typical conductivity of a large VMS system, and has good size as well. The system's open at depth, and it's also open to the south. So I think the potential for extending this system is pretty good at the moment. If there's any questions, or if somebody else wants to take over to you, Paul.
Thanks very much, Alan. Those really are exciting targets in the south, and we really look forward to drilling them. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope that you found Bruce's and Alan's insights helpful. And please note, we've got a lot of news flow to come over the next weeks and months. So please keep an eye on us at our website on btumetals.com, and follow us on YouTube.